and welcome back to Billy Ho Sports. Next weekend, we have big time racing action at my home track, Churchill Downs. I have plenty of content coming for the Stephen Foster, but this is time for some Friday night racing action. We've got a doubleheader of the Penn Mile Stakes, the Penn Mile Oaks, both 1 mile turf races for 3-year-olds for the males and the females. Grade 3 Penn Mile is worth 400K. So, real quick, all the commenters to this video will gain entry into the split the pot draw for the Stephen Foster Saturday racing. So the winner will get a $20 bet on me for race day. Good luck, by the way, Joe, on our exacta box today that we have for the Ohio Derby. Joe won the split the pot for last week, so best of luck today. The winner gets a $20 bet on me that we split if we win. So to be eligible for that, you need to first subscribe to the channel, first and foremost. Click that like button on your way there as well. Leave a comment. The commenters are the ones that get in the draw. So you have to leave a comment, obviously, to make it in the draw, 1 entry per. But leave all the comments you want, more the merrier. So in the comment section for this video, just give me your winner of the Penn Mile. It's a pretty solid race. We'll get into it right now. Keep an eye on the weather. There looks like there might be up there in Pennsylvania a little bit of chance for some storms. Don't know how it will affect the turf if it does so. So just that's something to keep in the back of your brain to check on later on in the week. So now we're going to jump right into past performances and take a look at the field. So the Penn Mile obviously is a mile, and this is for 3-year-olds. It's open company. It's not just for males, but I don't think we have any fillies entered. Anyway, States' Rights is number 1. That's Sherry DeVoe hooking up with Jose Ortiz. This one scratched out. There was a few that was going to go in the Pennine Ridge last weekend for Belmont, or 2 weeks ago, I should say, for Belmont weekend. And of course, with all the rain and the wetness, they pulled some of the races off the turf, and the Pennine Ridge was one of them, causing multiple scratches, to include this one. So hasn't raced since the April 12th when at Keeneland. Probably should have won that race if not for some traffic trouble. And Jose Ortiz did a masterful job at the helm there. He made some really good moves left and right and then knifed through. I love when them horses raise up like that, when they're just gunning through a tight space on the turf like that. And he was just a little late to the end. And Messero, I believe, was the horse that won the race, which is a pretty quality horse in its own right. But it was probably close to as win as you're going to get without actually getting a win. And then obviously had a pretty close one with Flying Mohawk back in January. And we know Flying Mohawk was also one that scratched out of I'm not sure if it was the same race or not, but it was that one scratched out of one of the turf races as well. So this one is definite contender. Will be closing late. So Jose Ortiz above, and you can see was the beaten favorite in that race, and 35%. You might beat her once, but you're not beating her again, Sherry DeVoe. So States' Rights, keep an eye on. And this is Barbadian Runner, and this one's kind of just a local Delaware, Monmouth, Pimlico, Laurel, bouncing around that general area, and lots of good results. I mean, some good couple back-to-back stakes wins right here, Miracle Wood and a spectacular bid at Laurel. Probably a little bit lesser company, but did actually run in this Delaware Derby and ran a nice second, got 100 Brisnet speed figure, but it was on the dirt, and that was against Admiral Dennis, if you recall, was on the Derby trail there for a half a minute, and Admiral Dennis kind of just fell off that Derby trail, but seems to be coming back around, maybe finally getting that form we were all looking for. Henry Walters is 32% when he ships, so that's a good sign. It's going to be tough. It's his fourth choice. Lots of good options here. So maybe a nice value play, 10-1 morning odds. Wouldn't be too bad. Went up against Reagan's Wit in the last time that he actually was on the turf in the J.W. Murphy. And I mean, Reagan's Wit was no joke in that race. He was like 2-5 or something crazy and won the race pretty easily. So pretty good effort though, going a mile at Pimlico. So one you could probably use underneath if you so chose to. And number 3, Panagiotis is lightly raced, colt by violence, no turf experience, hasn't really been more than 7 furlongs ever. So I'm going to pass on that one. And this one is actually becoming a little bit more interesting to me. Mibago and has gone up against Zulu Kingdom, who's in this race. We'll talk about it here in a few minutes before. And he led the way on Kentucky Derby Day, but was no match for Zulu Kingdom on the I guess it was some lightly good, I guess you could call it turf, but did run pretty well the next out when it got pulled off. This was the Pennine Ridge, got pulled off the turf, and this one was a there was enough in the field, and obviously another big trip leading all the way, but then just got AP Kid got him at the end, and was much the second best easily. You can see cleared the field by quite a bit there. So Mibago, I think if she was able to gain anything out of that race in the mud at Saratoga, maybe some fitness or whatever, her early speed and then the cut back to a mile can make things interesting if she gets loose. Because I think you got a better chance on a smaller oval like Penn National that to get that early speed up there, and Irad aboard's going to give him that ride pretty easily. So Mibago is if you don't want to go with the chalk, Mibago is probably a horse that you could definitely use. Now, this one is the one I do find interesting as well as the number 5 out on bail is by Tis the Law. Mike Maker is the trainer. Just one win in 7 starts, but they were all going 5.5 furlongs. You can see, and a couple of wins in seconds all the way here. Never been worse than third in any race. But Tis the Law is the sire, and average win distance is 7. Damn Sire average win distance is 8. So I do believe the longer distance is what this horse wants. So I don't know if the first chance it gets to run that distance, it's going to get there. But it could be a horse, since it's definitely one that likes to be up on the pace, should be a factor in the race. So out on bail with Manny Franco aboard, possible underneath exotics use. Then we have the number 6 Cairo Caper. This one ships in from Woodbine. Last race was at Aqueduct, but new trainer as of that was last year 10-13. So the new trainer definitely didn't get it off to the best of starts in the Woodhaven, 7th place there. This one I don't think I'm going to get to. DFL in the last race. That was 7th of 7. Probably my vote for repeat performance of that. So we're going to go on to our main attraction here, which is Zulu Kingdom. And this is a Chad Brown colt. Uh, Kind of going to be taking over in the mile division, I guess, as the premier turf horse, especially in the 3-year-old division. I mean, the Kentucky Derby Day when he came rolling down the stretch on that yielding grass to win the American Turf showed just a lot of grit. Was set to run in that Pennine Ridge, like I mentioned, but when the race was pulled off the turf, he was scratched from the race. So that just give him a little bit of extra time off, 55 days. Going to be coming in fresh, probably training pretty well for Chad Brown. So the horse to beat, obviously. And then we're going to round out the field with number 8, Dream On. A well-traveled 3-year-old from the Mark Cassidy barn. You can see started his career at Churchill Downs, up in Indiana to Ellis, then up in Canada to Woodbine for a few, then straight out west to Delmar, then back across country for the 3-year-old debut. Yeah, at Gulfstream, then over to Tampa, then up to New York for Aqueduct. So you can circle the United States off the bucket list there for Dream On. So won the Woodhaven at Aqueduct last out, was the second or third off the the third of, I guess, the 3-year-old season, and 2 wins, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. 88 speed figure, which speed figures in turf races aren't as important to me, but juvenile turf definitely set the pace there in 22:46 and change. Hit the stretch drive in the lead, but was caught. So tough enough to compete here, that's for sure. The most recent trip He actually rated, was on the rail in third, and then responded when prompted down the stretch and was able to win by a neck. So versatile horse can press or lead whichever one comes up. So gonna be tough to beat Zulu Kingdom, I do believe, but yeah, I got to go with that horse until I see otherwise. So probably I wouldn't bet Zulu Kingdom to win unless the odds were maybe stayed at 7-5 or 8-5. That might be okay, but it's probably going to go dip under one or under even money, I would say. But I would key the horse, so I'd key the 7 on top, and then use the 1 States Rights and the 5 Out on Bail and the 8 Dream On for your trifecta key box or exacta key boxes, or even superfecta if you want to throw in another horse down on the bottom. But Zulu Kingdom, I feel pretty good about. But I think States Rights, and I think if Out on Bail takes to the distance, and then you have Dream On, all are capable horses to upset. But we're going to go with Zulu Kingdom as the key. That means if you key box for a trifecta, all he has to do is hit the board, first, second, or third, and then your other 3 horses need to fill in the other 2 spots. So I like that solid bet. Now we're going to go to the previous race, which is actually race 5, but I wanted to do the Penn Mile first. Now we're going to do the Penn Oaks. So let's jump over and take care of that now. Okay, like I said, the Penn Mile Oaks is also 1 mile on the turf. This is for 3-year-old fillies, and it is for a $150,000 purse. So we start with number 1 Accent, even lighter raced filly from Chad Brown. She's only got 1 start. Chad Brown's got a couple in here that are pretty lightly raced, but this is probably the newest, well bet and debut. I mean, just like a Chad Brown horse busting out of the gate and closing hard under Sammy Camacho. Now gets Flavian Pratt. So that's a big upgrade. Beat a solid field of 9, including Don't Jinx It, who actually closed to within a neck, but you can see Don't Jinx It went out and broke his maiden, or her maiden, I should say. I'm sorry, fillies this time. Her maiden, the next race. So I always like it when the horse competes and the horse that you're talking about wins the race, but the next horse was very competitive, and it also proved to be a winner the next out. So that's kind of a good key race to look at. So number 1 Accent, definitely one we're going to look at. I think Sammy Camacho did a good job of taking the rail after it was kind of gifted to him. A lot of times you get trapped in on the rail and you got nowhere to go, but he had it wide open and shot that gap, and it was over after that. So number 2, Pure Magic, more experienced runner for John Robb, 11 starts and it's got 2 wins, 2 seconds, 2 thirds. 0 for 3 in 2025 though, showing no form versus Stakes Company, passing on that one. Love You Anyway, Arnold George II, and we got Axel Concepcion in the mount. Luis Saez rode him to the maiden victory. Did try to bust into the greatest stakes ranks at Tampa in the Florida Oaks. Ran a pretty good race, was tracking in 4th, but was after being bumped at the start and whatever. But that was obviously against a horse called Nitrogen. Lush Lips and Deloraine are pretty solid horses, so that was a pretty good race for him to run in competition wise. So love you anyway is definitely third for a reason on the odds boards, and then you got Raining Flowers, John Ortiz, and this one doesn't look like it's going to be all that to me. Ran 4th last fall in the Teppan Stakes, which was won by Laura Lynn, who we'll talk about in a minute. But John Ortiz comes in with just an allowance win to her credit, so probably not going there. Bessie Abbott is one from Mark Cassidy and Irad Ortiz rides. Uh, won over in Ireland back in 2024 and then came to the United States, came out in the very first race. I like it when overseas horses do this. They come over in the fall of the previous year and then train over the winter time and come out in the spring and pop almost nearly first race out for 100 N1X 120,000 at Keeneland. That's pretty solid effort there. So I like that. And then came back and tried the Wonder again. This was the race that I don't know if I mentioned yet, but it was also one of those that was pulled off the turf, as you can see right here. But this one scratched out to just 3 horses total, one of which was Nitrogen. So Bessie Abbott ran second and beat Mayday Ready by a lot, but she did set the pace before, and it actually gave Nitrogen a nice little target to run at. Nitrogen ends up winning by 17 lengths, so it's kind of hard to tell. But she may have gotten something out of that race. I don't know. it's it's worth to it was worth it to pick up a $60,000 check for the second place. So if she got something out of the race, all the better. And then you have number 6, Midway Memories, and this is Chad Brown. This one does have two races, just missed by a nose in the debut, but then comes up and hits second out, so comes right back on the inner turf at Aqueduct and gets it done. And that's a pretty solid shot for 80K maiden. Debuted at Tampa with that second, losing by a nose. Then I don't know if she's good enough to compete here or not, but she looks like a solid enough choice to use in exotics at the very least. So one to keep on your radar. Then you have the number 7 Candy Quest, a good turf filly. Mark Cassidy obviously always has great turf horses. Fourth in the Memories of Silver. Trouble keeping up down the stretch though when facing Laura Lynn, and a very contested pace there at plus 18 in the first call. And you can see finished fourth, so mild bid, but not really up to par with the top choice here today. So she is ran pretty good in Sanibel Island. That was a field of 10, including a horse that I like, Love Sarive, and beat those horses. Did not get the win, but got a good second to Spirited Boss, who Spirited Boss is a very good horse on the turf as well. So that brings us to number 8, Love and Poetry. And that's Sherry DeVoe and Jose Ortiz. Jose Ortiz takes the mount on this one. So second out for Sherry DeVoe, she got it done. Then jumped up into Stakes Company, got a runner-up finish in the Black Cat. Then went up to the OC ranks in the N1X. That's pretty big time. Ran third in that race, so not really a disappointment by any stretch. She ran third. It was a tough start. She got shuffled all the way back to the rear. She swung 9 wide from dead last in the stretch to close to third. So I like that effort in a horse. And Jose did what he could on that one, but was just really way too far back to try to get the win. But a nice third place finish nonetheless. That brings us to number 9, Laura Lynn, a rising star for trainer Grand Motion. 3 for 3 so far. Recent win in the Memories of Silver. Well, she had to work for it. It was a hard-earned victory. She likes to press up close to the lead and then make her run, which makes her perfect for this spot. But she got up by a neck and held off Opulent Restraint, I believe was the name of the horse. I covered that race, I think. But Kendrick Harmuse got it done. He's ridden her all 3 times. No reason to deviate now. Kendrick can get it done. He's a quality jock in his own right. 3-1 morning line. That's pretty generous. I don't think she's going to go off at that or anywhere close. But she definitely has the best chops to win this race. And I also like number 1, Accent. I like number 8, Love and Poetry. And those two, if I went in order, it would be 1, 8, and then number 3, Love You Anyway, rounds out my top 4. Laura Lynn is clearly the best. I would bet to win at odds above even money, and I would key on top of the number 1, the 3, and the 8. So that takes care of our racing for Penn National and our Friday night double feature. This was a nice date night. Then we're going to have Saturday Stephen Foster Day, and that's going to be so awesome. I can't wait for it. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel because there will be multiple split the pot bets for that day, Saturday. So we'll do one for the specific race itself, Stephen Foster, and then we'll do another one for the undercard, and we'll make it dealer's choice which race you want to bet. So remember to take care of all those things to be eligible for the split the pot contest. And until next time, see you soon.